Kia ora, I'm going to go through coordinates today, Cartesian coordinates. So if you haven't heard of coordinates before, they are done on this Cartesian plane, which is where we have one axis going in one dimension and another axis going in another dimension, giving a plane which is a flat surface. And we're going to be looking at putting coordinates on there so that you can say give a coordinate and you know exactly where something is. And this is used in maps, it's used in lots of other things, but you'd see it mostly in maps. Right, so when we're looking at coordinates, we always do the x-axis first. So that's our dimension going this way and that way. So you can see positive numbers going up here and negative numbers going that way. So that's in relation to the center, which is 0. So you always do the x coordinate first and then you do the y coordinate. Now the y coordinate goes in this direction and this direction. So we've got positive numbers going that way and negative numbers going that way. And again, that's in relation to the 0 point there. When we write coordinates, so we always write it in this form where we have bracket, some number for x, comma, some number for y, close bracket. And that's how I'm going to write these ones. So I've got to do my x coordinate first and then my y coordinate. So for A, that's this one here. So I'm going to be looking for the x coordinate for A first and then the y coordinate. So to find the x coordinate, I look at where A links up on the x-axis and it comes up at 6. So that's my first half of my coordinate, that's my x coordinate. And then I look at where it links up on my y-axis and that's at 7. So A is at 6, 7. B, that's this one here. Well, I look for where it joins up on my x-axis, that's at 2. On the y, it's negative 3. So we're at 2, negative 3 to get to B. And we know if we have this Cartesian plane, then we know exactly where B is on there because we have the coordinates 2, negative 3. Now you always have to put it that way round because that's how your reader is going to read it. If you say negative 3, 2, they're going to look at the x coordinate first, and they're going to look at the y coordinate, and they're going to think that your B is up here because you've put it the other way around. So we always do x first and then y. X first and then y. And you have to be careful that you're putting your negative numbers there. So on the right side of the x-axis, it's always positive, and going up, it's always positive on the y-axis, and then going down, it's always negative on the y-axis, and going left it's always negative on the x-axis. And that's so that the writer and the reader are on the same page, they don't get confused. C, we go for our x coordinate first, well that's at 4, and then our y coordinate is at 2, so our whole coordinate is at 4, 2. D, that's this one here. That's at negative 6, negative 2. So it's negative 6 on the x-axis and negative 2 on the y-axis. If you would like to try the other ones yourself, grab a piece of paper or your laptop and type in what the rest of the coordinates are, or write what the rest of the coordinates are while pausing the video, and then you'll see if your answers are correct later on. So E, now this is sitting on the x-axis. It's at 4 on the x-axis, but it's at 0 on the y-axis. Negative 4, 0 for that one. So always do x coordinate first. On the x-axis, it's sitting at negative 4, and on the y-axis, it's at that 0 point. Next one, F, that's here. That's negative 2 on the x-axis, negative 3 on the y-axis. Negative 2, negative 3. G is at 0 on the x-axis and it's at 3 on the y-axis. So that's 0, 3. And again, it's important to have these round the right way. So you're placing it on the y, like right along the y-axis, instead of at 3, 0, which would be over here. H, that's at -5, 3. I is at -1, 1. J is at 2, 0. K is at -3, 6. And L, oh, that's right there, that's at 0, 0. Now be careful, if you've got an axis like this, where say you've got a 2 here and a 1 here, now remember that means that these points here are halfway between the numbers on either side, so that will be going up in 0.5s. Same as if you've got, say 10 here, that means that since there's 5 spaces leading up to 10, that means every one of them goes up in 2s. So the grid won't always be going up in 1s like this one, because this one's really nice, it goes up in 1s for us, so we can just count along. Some of them will be going up in 2s, 5s, 10s, it can change depending on the scale that you're looking at. So just be careful of that when you're doing your coordinates, because it doesn't always go up in 1s. Just make sure you're going up in the right amount. Okay, let's try it the other way around, where we're given the coordinates and we want to put the points in. So I'm going to use a red pen for this. Now, our first coordinate, A, is 4, -1. So I go to 4 along the x-axis. So here's my x-axis here. I go to 4, and then I want to go -1. So that's there. So that's my point there. That's A. Now, you can draw up your own grid, put all these in, and then you can use this video to give you the answers for that by just pressing pause here, putting in all your coordinates, and then checking it with the video. So you can do that now. I'm just going to keep going. Right, 2, oh hang on, we're up B now. So -1, 2. So I need to find -1 on my x-axis, and then 2 on my y-axis, and then see where they meet up. So -1 is here on my x-axis, and 2 is there on my y-axis. So where they meet up is that point there. So that's B. C is 2, -3. So I've got 2, go along 2 and down 3. That gets me to C. D is -3, 1. So -3 and then up 1. That's D. E is 0, -2. So I don't go along at all on my x-axis. I don't go that way or that way. I stay along this line here. But then I find where -2 is on the y-axis, which is there. F is -2, -1. So I go along to the left 2 on my x-axis and down 1. G is 3, -3. So that's along 3 on my x-axis and down 3 on my y-axis. So that is G. H is 1, 3, so along 1 on my x-axis and then 3 on my right axis gives me to here. That's H. I is 5, 8, so along 5 on my x-axis and 8 on my y-axis, which puts me up here. -7, -6, so along to the left 7 on my x-axis and then down 6 on my y-axis, so that is here, that is J. K is -4, 7, so along to the left 4 on my x-axis and then up 7 on my y-axis. That gets me to there. Okay, and then 3, -8. 1, 2, 3 along to the right on my x-axis and down 8 on my y-axis takes me to there. And that's coordinates. Good luck with the activities either on the Google Classroom or that your teacher has given you. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.